Let's get ready to rumble and ride. Yes, yes, yes. My Nigerian scammer has replied. Now, I know for a fact he's in Lagos because I've been able to research him pretty thoroughly. He's another one of those that does not know that you can go into Facebook and you can pull up somebody's friends. You can look at their friends list if all their friends are in Nigeria, and you look at their posting where they're from and they're in Lagos or some other place. He's in Nigeria. He says he's in Sweden. Yeah, I am. Hey, Star, and hey, that Amber chick, let me go ahead and read to you what he said so far. I was just cleaning up dinner when he PM'd, and I just look forward to these guys because I can either string them along forever or I can give him a hard time. I'm getting ready to ask him why he's PMing me from 4 a.m. because Lagos is on the same time frame. I'm so excited. The same time frame as London, as is Sweden. So it's 4 a.m. where he is, whether he's in London or whatever. Okay. Come back here, buddy. Come back here. I have totally lost my conversation with you. Oh. Okay. Here's what he said. Hello there, beautiful. Thanks for accepting my additional friend request. How are you doing today? Now I answered that back with a non-exciting, I am well. How are you? And then I said, you're up late tonight, aren't you? Because I know it's 4 a.m. where he is. Oh, yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for adding me as a friend of yours. So tell me, where are you from? This is where it gets tricky for me. You have to use enough truth. Hey, Maria, I hope this one's going to be good. You have to mix a little truth with a little lies. I told him that I was from Costa Rica, USA, and Europe. Now, I've lived all three places, but clearly I'm not from all three places. Let's see where he goes with this. He's taken a long time to answer, which is not a good sign. That's usually means they're suspicious of something. And the sad thing is I haven't really told him any fibs or pulled a string yet. Hello, are you there? Clearly he's fishing more than one of us right now. He's going to hit you with the, I'm awake because I'm in love. I hope so. I hope so. I love it when these guys go stupid on me and tell me all kinds of, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. And here I was considering staying up to see Erin on Real Entertainment Network to see how she was going to do. I have mixed feelings about Real Entertainment Network. There's part of me that kind of likes the guy, and there's part of me that's like, ooh, that's just way too messy for me. I don't know. I need. Yeah, and I had another couple. I'm sorry I'm popping my pills because it's time for me to take my nighttime drugs, so that I can sleep. Here he comes. He's taking too long. Well, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, but I'm currently in Stockholm working as a marine engineer. What about you? What's your profession, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, when they start with that, I will either give them a fake profession or a real profession and elaborate. I'm going to tell him, I'm going to bait the hook good. I'm going to tell him I'm independently wealthy and retired, which is not really quite true. I'm retired, but I'm not what I would call independently wealthy. Living off the interests from investments. Not entirely a lie, because that is how I'm paying my bills. Because Costa Rica has these very, marine engineer. He gave the name of a real company on his profile. But here's the thing, that real company is only in the Miami and Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach area. They're nowhere near Stockholm, Sweden, where he's claiming to be. And like I said, with the European time zones and crap, it's 4 a.m. there. Yes, K-Joy watchers, I just pop pills. Too bad they're non-exciting pills. They're MS drugs. Oh no, Starly, these are some old ones I've had a couple of years. My new glasses are cut almost identically, but they're purple. I got a whole story about how they were trying to sell me all new glasses. They wanted me to get red ones. I know. And the thing is, when these guys pop up, I Google them thoroughly. I look at all their friends list. I figure out when they say they've been to Nigeria recently. I can see that they're not a maritime engineer. He says he's a marine engineer. That would be a maritime engineer there. And those are in super short supply in Sweden. So if he actually was one, get a job pretty easily. Oh, that's nice. I hope you don't mind my friendship. So tell me, are you married? Do you have kids, and how old are they? Now, sorry, Jim, I'm about to say I'm widowed. Okay, so I'm going to hell. Red glasses are cool. The only problem with red glasses, and I know this from having had red glasses, for me, I get tired of them in a hurry. Those red glasses are something I would order from Zenni Optical for cheap and just have them for fun on the side. Um, yeah, I'm always widowed too. I always tell them I'm widowed and that my kids don't pay me any mind. Not telling him my kids don't pay me as much mind because they're working and they do talk to me on the weekends and they are working. Yeah, they don't expect you to Google anything. So I Googled where he said he worked. He said the company he worked for, and like I said, he said it was in Sweden. I looked it up. No such company in Sweden. Company in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach area that does docks and stuff like that. That's what they're doing with the marine engineering. They're putting in fancy docks for zillionaires in that area. So I'm always widowed too. I always tell them I'm widowed. They are looking for divorce. Divorced women or widows with money. So and he's already sent me back a bunch of stuff. Oh, you'll love this one. Well, in my case, I lost my wife 4 years ago due to cancer. And I have a 16-year-old daughter schooling at an American boarding school. And you know something, ever since I lost my wife, I've been busy with work. And trust me, no woman to occupy the space in my heart. I'm just going to say, oh, I am so sorry. I'm not going to give him anything much to work with here. He is pulling out all the stops. He doesn't know that I've looked at his timeline and he's had a whole bunch of white widows that he's talked to and they've all flirted with him and he's blocked them. I looked at that. He's probably been through 10, 15 women that were all open arms for him and saying, oh, well, I love you, baby, and all this. For the life of me, I cannot understand how these guys think that you're not going to look at their friends list. You're not going to look at where they've been. You're going to, this guy, and I found all of his pictures. There's 3 pictures up. It's the same guy, which is rare because you'll get them that'll have 3 or 4 pictures up and there'll be 3 or 4 pictures of different guys and try to say they're the same guy. These guys are all the same guy. And they are from what is it? They are from a Joseph A. Bank catalog. I was able to find them. That's why I do this. This is why I troll these guys. I used to do Nigerian scam baiting years and years and years ago, but not these romance guys. I started doing these romance guys a couple of years ago when they became just annoying, overwhelming. Let's see what he's got to say. He's got this. Oh, you're welcome, my sweetie. I hope you don't mind my friendship. No, I don't mind at all. Okay, now he has sent me it's probably 20 or 30 of those hearts with little roses. I hate that they exploit women. I used to like to do the scam baiting because if you could have them chasing you across Africa for money, if you could get them to go on a safari and travel to chase you, that was the best. If you could get them to get tattoos, take crazy pictures and things, the Church of the Holy Scam Baiter. Um, oh, I had never sent malware or anything like that. But here's what I have done. I did work as a while for as a warner for 419 Eater, where we would hack into people's email addresses who were corresponding with these idiots and say, hey, this is a Nigerian scammer you're talking to. This person just wants your money. To this day, it still blows my mind how they blow the littlest details. It's the little details that do them in every single time. Oh, he is lighting them up tonight. Oh, that's great. So tell me, are you married or have kids, and how old are they? I've already answered this damn question. Oh God, oh God, oh God. No, this is not going well. Let me read you this crap. Oh, that's great. So tell me, are you married or have kids, or how old are they? Oh, that's great. You're welcome. That's great, my sweetie. Well, I have been having some notifications from Facebook that my Facebook account is being logged in from somewhere, which is quite strange. You spelled it quiet, quite strange. I've been trying to move my friends and family to a more secure platform called the Google Hangout. I don't know what that is. Time to play stupid. Time to play very stupid and pretend like I don't know. They have gotten strict on that. It's not quite legal to hack into people's email addresses either and do that. Like I said, I haven't hacked in years. I used to routinely hack to fool with these guys. I don't even know how you would go about it anymore because there's been, except that the idiot ones that were fooling with salts and others, and they tried to get into my stuff a couple times. I laugh because I have two-step verification, all kinds of other security stuff on. And I laughed because when they tried to go on my Twitter, they didn't even know which email I used because the email that I used is not connected to anything that they could find. Not quite. Yeah, he said not quiet. So I'm pretending like I don't know what Hangout is. I'm not going to go into Google Hangout with him at all. He's out of luck if he thinks I am. If he gets insistent, I'm going to serve him a scammer sandwich and tell him everything I know. Hello, honey. And then a link to Google Score and apps. And hmm. We'll have to see if my son in IT knows what this is. I know what it is. He's given me a link for a Android Google program. The thing is, I don't use Android products. I've got either Microsoft or a pile of iPhones, iPads. So I am not joining anything of his. I'm about to boot him. Yeah, that Amber chick, that is the problem with this. When you do these things, if you do them illegally, you can get in all kinds of trouble. So that's why I try to stay on the legal side of the law. Must be desperate. Yeah, I'm sure he is desperate. He ran right to it. I'm going to make him work for it, and then I'm going to tell him off. And I see that Bruce Garenzer, who you may or may not know, he was somebody that used to write for NLQ sometimes. He has a wonderful blog called The Life and Times of Bruce Garenzer. He used to be an IFB pastor. He saw the light and left. Him and his wife Polly are wonderful people. I've met them, hung out with them. I adore both of them. I keep threatening to show up at their house for Thanksgiving with a bottle of tequila. Just PM'd me, I see, to talk about Vicki Garrison. So this ought to be good. Okay, basically, Vicki Garrison has a new article in Salon. She's written about why Anna Duggar will stay. And this is a recent article, it looks like. Yes. Vicki is fishing for dollars from, well, she was supposedly had moved the first of this year to Albania. Her and I have not had anything to do with each other for quite some time. She started turning NLQ into a fundraising arm, and when she was ungrateful, when I raised $22,000 for her and wanted to run 7 or 8 other, I just put my foot down, and that's when I started not having anything to do with any fundraising. She's just another scammer in different clothing. I hate to say it. That was the conclusion I came to. I was grateful that Vicki gave me the chance to write, but I'm not grateful to be constantly work for money. Life is too short for that. Now, come on, dude, come back. Okay. Let's open this link and see what he sent us. He wants me to download an app for a thing I don't even have. This is definitely Google Hangouts, specifically geared towards Android phones. That is for Androids. I only have an iPhone. Let's see what he has to say. I'm about to boot this guy, though, I have a feeling. Yeah, some people. And that's one thing I have learned the hard way with this whole world of Quiverful. Hey, Noel, I've just been reading all the ridiculous crap he's been saying. He's called me honey and sweetie like about a dozen times. Now he's trying to move me to an app to talk to me. And I'm not having it. I'm playing real dumb. And the last thing he sent me was a thing to download an app on Android. So I just sent him a little message back and said, I don't understand. I don't have an Android. Claims to be in Stockholm. It's 4 a.m. in Stockholm. He won't answer my question. I've asked him a couple of times about how late it is where he is. He claims to be an engineer, a marine engineer. The company he works for in Stockholm does not exist except in the Miami area. So he's been going back and forth and calling, telling me how just sending me stupid little hearts and flowers and crazy crap. Now I'm waiting for him to respond, and it looks like okay. It looks like it may take him some time. If it does, yeah, that's the only thing. It's engineering is some BS. particularly when I pulled up all of his photos and saw they're all Nigerians. His check-ins of all the places he's been lately has been Nigeria, Lagos area. So that's what's funny. And it's funny because he's in Lagos. It's 4 a.m. there. It's 4 a.m. in Stockholm, and it's 4 a.m. in the London area. So he's actually on the same, he's in the same time frame as the place he's pretending to be from. That's actually kind of clever. I hate to say it. Usually they won't for a couple of weeks. Usually. Not always. I had one time that in the first 10 minutes of talking to me, he asked me 3 times when I could retire and what my retirement pay would look like. He claimed to be a doctor from Doctors Without Borders. I asked him where he was. He kept saying he was in Afghanistan because of the war, and then he changed it to somewhere else, that he was in Afghanistan again. And he wanted to know what my retirement pay would be. And he kept saying, I'll take good care of you, sweetie. So I might. I sometimes can do that. I will sometimes do that with these guys. But here's the thing, they've all gotten a lot quicker about going to things. Like I said, the quote doctor kept saying he wanted to know when I was retiring and what kind of retirement pay I would get. And he wanted to know right away. That's what was so bizarre about it. And so I had a little fun with him, though. This guy I can't have any fun with because I don't know a damn thing about engineering to try and bust his ass on it. The doctor, I started telling him all these things wrong with me because he kept saying, when are you going to retire? I said, I can't retire. I got to work until I drop because I've got fulminating toenails and lactating lung disease. And I just came up with the biggest bunch of medical BS on the planet. And he didn't bat an eyelash. And I was like, yeah, you're some doctor. I'm feeding you fake medical terms and you're just going for it. You're thinking I'm telling you the truth. Okay, let's go back. You can still, from your Apple store, you can still install the application from your Apple store, honey. Heart, 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 flower, 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 rose, rose, rose. Oh, Lord. I still don't understand. What do I need to do? Maybe I should get my son to do it. Actually, no. I don't let my son touch my computer. He doesn't touch mine. They do want to be quick now. I went back and, yeah, you said you went back and forth for about 4 months once with a guy. Back in the not so ethical days, and saw every other person he was trying to scam and shut it down. Yep. That's exactly true. And the thing is, Noelle, when you're doing scam baiting, when you're doing that with the regular scammers that are trying to say, hello, I'm Mrs. So and so, I need to send you $5 trillion and you send me back 2 million and keep the rest. When I was fooling with the dangerous people, it was not unusual to have extremely limited vocabularies, and you could throw all kinds of things in there and say, well, if you're a barrister, I need proof of your candy bar. Just the most ridiculous things. And there was nothing that it wouldn't even bat an eyelash. It'd be stuff that you would say to somebody, hey, words have power. Words have power. You have to leave me the link to your site. I saw that Real Entertainment Network mentioned it, and I couldn't figure out from the thing I was looking at. And I tried to search for it, and it was confusion. Come on, come on, come on, come on back. Come on, dude. Oh, Lordy. He's reading through my timeline and reacting to my photos. If he does that, he's going to see I'm married. So, let's see. Silly, silly, silly. Silly man, silly man, silly man. But not quite silly enough. It still astounds me that he took 3 catalog photos from Joseph A. Banks and use that as his photos. Did he think that nobody was going to run his photos through Google Photoshop, Google Photos? Because um, yeah, you can do it here. That would be great. That would really be great because I do like to look at a lot of different things, and you'd be surprised. I look at a lot of history and just a lot of very odd things that just make you think, because I do like that too. I may come across as silly, but I think I try to do some deep thinking, at least until I get somebody twist my arm into raising $22,000 for them so that they can pay their credit card bill. I will never do that again. Cross my heart. I will never run another fundraiser again for anybody giving me the sob story. Words of power, I do too. And I like the weird ones. I was watching one about Chernobyl, and I knew a lot of the stuff they were talking about because I knew about the flawed design of the reactors in the Soviet Union and how they don't use the same safety standards as in the US. And not that the US is any great shakes on their standards. But okay. Oh, since you said so, sweetie. He's typing again. How long can I string this idiot along? That's going to be the question here. World War II. I like to look at World War II history too. My late father-in-law was in a bomber. I think he was a navigator going over the Podeski oil fields, I think it is, in Poland. He's told some stories through the years about his World War II days. And was pretty intense. I don't think that today maybe we don't get quite the sense of how incredibly close we came to just destruction. No, well, I love to laugh. I'm one of those people who looks at Mad Magazine, looks at Robot Chicken online and stuff. I love to laugh when you're having a bad day, especially it's helpful. I didn't have necessarily a bad day, but I've had kind of a rough week just because I was having some crazy health the other night and was just up all night and slept for a couple days. And then yesterday we're running around trying to get my husband's motorcycle inspected. Inspections here are called retive, and they're not easy to pass. We couldn't get his motorcycle to even run right to run it through. So it's at a motorcycle shop in Santa Cruz, which he's used before. They're a very good shop. Half of the problem of living here is finding the right people. When you find the right people in the right places, your world goes much easier here. Now, well, it was kind of weird. I skipped I should take it 9. I should take an H1 and H2 and PPI, proton pump inhibitor. I skipped my proton pump inhibitor that night. I just forgot about it. And oh my word, I was up all night throwing up. I was like, is this what happens when you skip the one drug? And that's exactly right. I'm sure it's what it was. I thought I had the flu or something, but looking back, I skipped something because it's a more secure platform to chat with friends and family. I try to stick entirely with this. Too many bad people out there with very bad motives. See what he says to that. He's still trying to move me to that, to Google Hangout. It's not happening. No, well, see, here's the thing with the one that I've been up. That's my least favorite thing ever too, Amber Chick. I just hate it, hate it, hate it. I've been working on my book. I've been having back and forth with the publisher. I've concluded that what happened to that girl had more to do with sex trafficking. And once I started looking at the disappearances of young women in that area through the years, especially in that time frame, I started concluding that it was sex trafficking going on between the truckers. And that's not what the publisher wanted. They wanted a whodunit, a mystery, a true crime book. So I'm actually changing the book quite a bit. I've talked to a lot of people since I started looking into the Carol Ann Cole murder who've told me the most horrific stories of the abuse they suffered at the hands of troubled teen residential treatment centers. And at first I thought it was just an IFB problem. I talked to somebody the other day that they had been at an Episcopal one. I've talked to people who've been abused at Catholic ones. I've talked to people who've been abused at pretty much any place that you could think of that had a denomination that had a troubled teen home linked to it. They were abused, and there were a whole lot of those kids were sex trafficked. Now, when the girls of New Bethany started telling me they had been trafficked, I was kind of like everybody else was like, yeah, right. I'm sure you've been trafficked. But the more I dug, the more convinced I was that they were trafficked. Teresa Fry is a wonderful person who has explained this all to me. She was the one that got me even interested in writing about this in the first place. I wrote about it for NLQ. I wrote a series of articles about it. And when I went to revisit the articles to write a book, is when I realized that I had missed something my initial time around. Thanks, words have power. I feel a whole lot better now because I remembered to take the right drugs. Yeah, I think it is too. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to tell that story. And then in the end, I'm going to look at all these people's stories and say how horrible this is and how this is ongoing to this day. And record their stories, the ones that will talk to me about it. Because let me see. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that link showed up. If you want, you can put it in the comments here underneath when this is over, and that would be great. Because like I said, I'll take a look. Like I said, I think sometimes that Real Entertainment News is a little squirrely, but I basically like him pretty much, and he was recommending you, so I was like, well, I better go take a look. I better go take a look. Exactly, Noelle. And that to me is the scariest thing about this whole thing with these poor girls. And boys. It wasn't just girls that were trafficked. Some boys were trafficked too. When I worked at the residential treatment facility for a couple of years, it was small children. There were a lot of kids there that had been trafficked. Not only they'd been trafficked, there were a fair amount that had actually been used in CP, or as Carolyn Ironwheel says, candy corn, which is way too cheerful of a name for it. Some of them starred in films like the one that Josh Duggar saw, the one that he had on his computer. All the wrong reasons. Why was he recommending you? Now you've got my interest while I'm waiting for this guy to come back, which I don't think he's going to, because I'm giving him some aggro about moving over. He approached me to come on and do an interview with him. And I just said, well, I will, but you got to guarantee me you don't bring Katie Joy on. He was offended by that. Well, yeah, he's that too. I'm not going to say he's not. Amber, I am so hard. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Noelle, I worry for the same thing too. It's getting worse all the time. But then again, I look back at history and there's been waves of times when things get better and then they get worse again and then get better. So I'm hoping we pull out of this, because it is pretty awful. Oh, words have power. You're right. They had no cursing. He was on our stream the other night saying all kinds of disgusting things to Words Have Power. My problem with him is I saw a video he was doing one time with women. He was telling women what to do, but that wasn't my problem. My problem was he said putting women in their place. He said women had to know their place, and when he said that, I was kind of like, "Oh no." I'm not going to have anything else to do with you. I may watch and giggle every now and then. I'm not even going to tell you guys what my husband's reaction was the time I put one of his videos on, and my husband was like, "What?" I'm not even going to tell you the things he said because he saw it. He was like, what he was questioning his sanity. We all laughed. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan either. Like I said, I will watch and laugh every now and then, but I think I dodged a bullet when I said no, Katie Joy. Oh wow, that's really crazy. So words have power. Did you join the ranks of Charlotte and Police Wife and all the others that he has said nasty things about or attacked? That's kind of the understatement of the year, Noel. I was trying not to say all these nasty things about him, like that he wasn't very bright. Um, and he's when he said putting women in their place, there's no place for women. There's no place to put us. We have as much right to be here and to do what we're going to do as he does. And you just can't. You can't say those things and be taken seriously. So many of the times I've watched him and I've either laughed or I've gone, particularly when he started attacking other women. I don't care if he attacks Katie Joy. He can attack her all day long. There's enough there for everybody to dislike. But when you start saying that women have to keep to their place, you lose me at that point. Because I don't believe any such thing. Oh, and guess what? My guy has ditched me. He's no longer responding. Well, well, well. I guess I have been dumped. Words have power. You haven't disrupted the chat. You've given me something to talk about while I wait for this idiot to respond because he is taking a long time. And I think what's happened is he's decided since I'm not going to play the game his way, he's just not going to play. And that could well be. And if that's the case, then I will wrap it up by sending him a message and tell him, hey, I know blah, blah, blah. I know that you're in Nigeria. I know you're not in Stockholm. I know you're not this guy. You used photos from Joseph A. Bank as yours, and they're actually from Joseph A. Bank's catalog a few years back. Oh, wow. Yeah. She, he subscribed to me recently, and I saw that name pop up and started going, oh my word, we're talking about Ren right now. And the only thing I could think of when I see how he's gone after Police Wife, he's gone after Charlotte, he's gone after some people that I've known really well, that I've thought highly of. There's only one reason that somebody like that follows you, and that is to try and take you down and just and destruct you. Have at it. Katie Joy's tried a bunch of times to say a bunch of nonsense about me, and I've just always just kind of laughed it off. Alabama, Georgia line, Pippi, that I have driven through where you live so many times then because I used to drive from the DC area to the New Orleans area to the Baton Rouge area where my family's from. And we always crossed over into that little tip of Georgia and gassed up. Rising Fawn. I think that's where the gas stations were we used to go to. And then head into Alabama and spend the night near Birmingham. That was about where we would break our trip every time. Yeah. Used to be, Machina. Not anymore. It's been a long time. I was actually in New Orleans in March, and I hadn't been back in a long, long time. And I was surprised at how quiet everything was. I mean, even with COVID, I was surprised to see how shut down. Yeah. Yeah, sure did. Sure did in that Amber chick. And I always liked that part of the world. You're visiting family there? Did you fly or did you drive? I'm always curious about that now. Yep, things really were quiet. I actually stayed out by the airport, which I was most confused by the new airport. I'd only flown to the old one in the past. And we just had a very quiet time. Stayed at the Wyndham, very quiet, didn't do much. Tried to get my Johnson and Johnson. Nobody in New Orleans would give me the vaccine because I didn't have a Louisiana ID. So it was a short little trip. Costa Rica kicked us out. That's when our visas came due. And the day before we were leaving, they changed that and extended it to June. But we were already booked, and I couldn't get a refund on the ticket. I can't say I blame you, Amber. I stay here. We just went into lockdown again here. They're what they're doing is they're closing the national parks half the time. They're not stopping tourists. They want American tourists to come to Costa Rica. Today, our infection rate topped like 3,600 people, and we've never been anywhere near that. The highest we've been before we hit the 3,000 was 1,600 in a day. And in 1,600 a day, they shut everything down. They just shut it down. So now we're way beyond that, and I don't know what's going to happen. Those of us that are living here, we can only drive our car 4 or 5 days a week. The rest of the week we have to stay in. I'm looking to see if they're going to shut the border again. I don't know if they will because they're so dependent upon tourist dollars. They are tough. They are very tough. And that's one thing I do like about here. I live in the Tamarindo area, but I'm not actually in Tamarindo. I'm in one of the little 10,000 villages outside of Tamarindo. I'm actually closer to Playa Grande. If you go that way, a mile and a half, I'm actually right by Playa Grande. And it's a much nicer beach than Tamarindo. It's a national park, nothing but wilderness. There are no hotels, no tourist junk, no shops. And there aren't 10,000 trillion people there like there are on Tamarindo Beach. During the first 3 months of the COVID lockdown, the beaches were closed. Let me tell you, that was miserable. We have a pool, and the pool is all nice and all that, but there's sometimes when you just want to go walk the beach. Couldn't leave the house. Same here. Could not leave the house. I'm very happy with the fact that we have a pretty large piece of land that's walled with a 12-foot high fence. Got a guest house. I have large vegetable garden. I call it my contraband vegetable garden because I have a bunch of American vegetables growing that you can't get here. Things like decent spinach. You can't get the right kind of spinach here. What they have is bitter and nasty and tiny, and it grows in a bush. I've got American corn. I've got American sweet potatoes. I have American zucchini, which are very different than Costa Rican zucchini. I'm sorry, to Noel. I hope you feel better. It is beautiful when the beaches aren't closed, and they're not closed now except for 50% of the time and 50% capacity. Amber, I'm doing the same because of the mass sell and the probable MS. I'm just staying in as much as possible, except when I'm running out to get my husband's motorcycle worked on or to go to the eye doctor or to get prescriptions filled. That's really it. We stay home. And I stay home more than my husband. He likes to go out and run around. And I see it's getting late, and you know something? I think I'm going to be extremely naughty, and I'm going to stay up and I'm going to watch Ren and watch Erin. I love Erin. She is very awesome. I like the fact that she's a peacemaker. Baker. She can walk among those of us that aren't capable of not fighting with each other. Um, she's she's something else. So go feel better, Noelle. And I think I'm going to go too because this Joker is not responding. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to write him a long message and tell him what an epic failure he is. And then he's a Nigerian scammer of the first water because he's trying to push me too fast into the wrong thing. And I'm not going there. Yeah, Erin is a wonderful person. Y'all all have a great night.